I have to research this.
So this song is written by Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur used to say that whoever he wrote it was like Shastra. It's Shabda Brahman. It's not, even though he wrote, but he's a pure devotee. It's giving direct perception of the spiritual reality. And Narottam Das Thakur is such an amazing devotee. Did you hear about his biography?
Yeah.
There's one book. It came out a few years ago by one Mataji, Shitala Mataji, Prabhupada disciple. She made a lot of research and she put it in a very nice story. Like she wrote in a beautiful story. Narottam Das Thakur appeared just after Mahaprabhu left. And he was really the person who personified that mood of separation. So his whole life story, I don't think we can speak about because it's very outstanding. He experienced many extraordinary things. But basically one thing which comes to my mind immediately is how Mahaprabhu, when he was in Navadvip, one time they went for Sankirtan and they came to a place and Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu was also there and other associates, and Mahaprabhu was yelling, Narottam, Narottam. And everybody was wondering who's Narottam because there was no one in that devotee circle, Narottam. And Mahaprabhu said, one day Narottam will appear in this place, one very exalted devotee. And Narottam grew up in a Kayashta family. Kayashta, you know? He's like an administrative family, king, kind of a kingly
Kshatriya, right?
Kshatriya
Kshatriya,
family.
yeah, right.
And his father, he was very concerned about his son. So he was very protective. And he was so protective that his son was not, he didn't have a lot of freedom. Similar to Buddha's story, you know Buddha? So Buddha was not allowed to go out much because they had fear that if he sees the reality, he will become a sadhu. And but then one time this Narottam, he came to the river, which was close by to the palace, and that river is called Padmavati, and he took a snan, and that was the exact place where Mahaprabhu he put the prem in this. He gave this gift to Padmavati, which is like how do you say it? It's a branch of the Ganges. And Padmavati Devi, she gave this prem to Narottam when he took a snan. And from there he was completely out of his mind. He was just floating in the ocean of Gauranga Prem, Krishna Prem. So he later on he went to Vrindavan and he lived in Vrindavan for many years and he became a disciple of Lokanath Goswami. So every morning we sing in the temple Sri Guru Charana Padma. So Narottam Das Thakur. They all come from one songbook called Pratana, which many different songs. And so he went to Vrindavan and he studied under Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami, even nowadays, if you go to India, you speak to scholars, they will say Jiva Goswami was the greatest scholar India ever had. Can you imagine?
They are not,
even
now.
Even university philosophers, they know that he was such a great philosopher. The reason for that is because Jiva Goswami he compiled some books which are very philosophical, and no ordinary person can compile these books. They're called the Sandarbhas. Maybe you've heard of the Sandarbhas. So Jiva Goswami, they say, is the greatest scholar. And Narottam was a student of Jiva Goswami, but he took Diksha from Lokanath. Lokanath, Lokira, Jivana. This chanting Lokana, Lokera, Nirvana. And there is a beautiful story also how Lokanath Goswami, he didn't want to accept any disciples. And Narottam came again and again and he asked for initiation and Lokanath rejected. And then he noticed
Lokanath said he don't want any
he don't
disciples.
want.
Any disciples.
Yes. And then he noticed that Lokanath used to go to toilet in one place. And every day he came, that place was very nice. Everything was nicely clean and very sattvic atmosphere in a way. So he was wondering who was cleaning that place. And then one time he was hiding and he saw Narottam would come after he did his business. He would come and clean everything. And then he of course, he was so touched that he accepted him.
He was the only disciple, right?
I think
Some-
he was the
yeah,
only
only
disciple
disciple.
Narottam Das Thakur.
But Narottama made lot of disciples.
Yes.
Like no,
yeah,
lot of
He
disciples.
made a lot of disciples. In his biography, you find many amazing stories how even though Narottam Das Thakur, he was born in a Kshatriya family, he initiated the biggest Brahmin in that area where he. So what happened after Vrindavan? He was sent back to Bengal, and he was preaching in his hometown Keturi. Keturi Gram is where his family was living, and he became such an influential Vaishnava that all kinds of people would come and take initiation. So many stories, but there is one thing which is very, I find also comes to my mind. In 2023, I was in Mayapur, and one of my friends who lives in Mayapur is a Russian, maybe Ukrainian brahmachari, and he lives there for 2 years, and he's very scholarly, and he likes to go to many, many different holy places in Bengal. And there is thousands of holy places because
In
there's
Bengal,
thousands of
Bangladesh.
associates of Mahaprabhu, and every associate has a birthplace, a samadhi. And so he invited me to join him, and we went to the place where Narottam Das Thakur left his body. Have you heard this story, how he left his body? He left his body in a place, I forgot.
The same Badma river, right?
Chachigram, I think. It was the same river. Maybe it was the same river.
Yeah, he became a milk.
He became a milk. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
he goes to the Ganga or
Yeah.
somewhere and just a milk food.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he was
right.
very old, and because all of the devotees left, all the Goswamis left, and he really, that separation became very strong. He didn't see any reason why he should stay here anymore. And he had one disciple, I think his name is Ganga Das Chakravarti, if I'm correct. And one day they went to the Ganga, to the river, and then Narottam said you can go to this place, it's called Dudgat, I think, because milk.
Dudga. Right. It's in Bangladesh or in India?
It's in India.
India.
Yeah. So his place is in Bangladesh, but later on he shifted to Bengal. He was staying in another place. And then it's described in the biography that Narottam told to Gangadas, I think that's his name, you massage my body, while he was in the Ganges. And he started to massage, and while massaging, Gangadas could see that his body became milk, and he turned into milk. And it's very nicely,
Unbelievable.
beautifully described how, even though he was shocked, it felt like he couldn't stop. It was like some supreme power. He just continued to massage, and eventually there was only milk. And then Gangadas took some milk, and there is a samadhi, the Dut samadhi. So they put this milk in the samadhi. Usually they put the full body, but because there was no body, they put some milk. And you can go to the samadhi. Maybe I can show you a picture when we take prasad, and you agree. And you can take snan also in that place. And so Narottam, he wrote this song, and his songs are really amazing. In Mayapur, they sing this song every morning in front of Panchatattva. Yes, every morning. So the song goes like this: Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koromore Toma Bina Ke Doyalo Jagata Sansare. Maybe somebody can read translation. You can go, everybody can read one verse.
My dear Lord Chaitanya, please be merciful to me, because who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these 3 words?
So Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More. Doya means mercy. Koro More, give me mercy. Mosama Patita Prabhu Napaivar. Sama, what means Sama?
Sama means equal, huh?
Equal, no?
Right.
So Mosama Patita Prabhu Napaivar. That there is no one equally merciful like you, Mahaprabhu. Then the second verse, Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar Mosa. Oh, sorry, I jumped.
Yeah, right. Second is
Yeah.
Patita.
Toma Bina Kedoyalu Jagata Samsari. Sorry, that was the second line. Toma Bina Kedoyalu Jagata Samsari. Jagat means universe, and Samsara means the whole samsara, cycle of birth and death. So in the whole Jagat Samsara, in the whole cycle of birth and death, in the whole universe, there is no one who is so merciful like you are. Then the second one, Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar, Mosama Patita Prabhu Napai Ve'ar. Would you like to read the translation?
Your incarnation is just to render conditional fallen soul, but I assure you that you will not find a greater fallen soul than me. Therefore, my friend is first.
Patita means fallen, and Pavana means one who uplifts, and Hetu means reason. Tava Avatar. So this avatar, Mahaprabhu, he comes to uplift the fallen. And then here it is mentioned, Mosama Patita Prabhu na Pai Be'ar, that there is no one so Patita fallen like I am. And this is a very nice point, that because Mahaprabhu is Patita Pavana, it is actually a great qualification if one feels low. Sometimes we try to find many reasons why we should feel proud. But in this statement, it's better if you find reason why you feel low, because if you feel low, then Mahaprabhu's mercy can come. Otherwise, it will not come. It cannot go up, it can only go down. Then the next verse, Haha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Balo Kana Koro Ami Boro Dukhi.
My dear Lord Nityananda, you are always rooted in spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your lens over me, then I may also become happy.
This Haha we also find in the Guru Vandana. Prabhu. Haha Prabhu. So this Haha is like you call out, Ha! Ha call out to someone. Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi is Sukhi means happiness, and what kind of happiness? Vishaya, Sanskarification? No, it's Premananda, the happiness of prema. Kripa balo kana koro ami boro dukhi. That means it's by your, yeah, it says by the mercy of Nityananda, we actually get this strength. Kripa balo kana koro ami boro dukhi. And again, ami boro dukhi. I'm very unfortunate. And number 4, Doya koro shika pati advaita gushai, tava kripa bole pai chaitanya nitai. Who likes to read? Four?
Yeah, translation.
She comes in English.
Then maybe
Russian.
Адвайта, супруг Ситы, прояви ко мне милость, ибо по твоей милости я смогу достичь сочетания Нитянанда.
Krishna Bhavana.
Yeah. My dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me.
You know what I was questioning initially when I heard that? Why is Advaita addressed as Sita Pati? Why?
Sita is the wife of Advaita,
Yeah,
right?
but why? Why they call him
Called
Sita
by
Pati?
his wife.
Yeah, why?
Must be a great devotee.
Потому что супруга у него
Sita is the name of his wife. So Advaita is the name of the one of the. Advaita is an incarnation of Mahavishnu and Shiva, and his wife is Sita. So they call him Sita Pati.
Sitapati.
It's like if I would call her husband Vaishnavi Vani Pati.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. Huh?
I was always like, wow, that's. So what does it indicate?
She must be a great
She
personality.
must be very special. I don't know if more merciful, but definitely.
Tati, should I end this?
So I'm not.
mother.
She's like the mother, yeah. It's a good point actually because Advaita, he is a combination of Mahavishnu and Shiva. So in a sense, she must also embody Parvati because she's the wife. Eternally, she's the wife. It's not Shiva
Mahavishnu.
and Lakshmi.
And
Yeah. So
Lakshmi.
some combination.
Yeah. Great combination.
Maybe we have to look it up. I don't know what's her identity.
Because some of the story was very nice also. My head have a lot of hole, but I remember that his story was very interesting. We should learn.
Before taking mercy of the Krishna, we ask firstly Radharani, no?
Yes.
His name is called.
Yes, yeah, it's a similar. That's the beauty also in this culture, how even though when we hear the pastimes, more often we hear about that